Trevor Steele, Through the Noise, Business, Life, and Lies, a podcast. And I'll start by saying one of those lies just appeared unintentionally. We're not going to have Brandon Vaughn with us today, but that's okay. We've got two rock stars, Chuck Thokey, Carlos Gonzalez. Welcome to the stage.
What is going on?
Hey, Trevor, how's it going, man?
It's good to be here, man. Good to see your smiling faces.
It is good. It's a great day today. Actually, I think I saw you on another pod right before this pod. Is that correct? You were with JC doing your thing.
The pods are stacking these days. But I felt left out, so I'm going to put these on.
Man, you know that you are a hell of a business owner when your business is running and you're in here talking to us, brother.
Well, that's the same thing with you, Chuck. I think if I'm correct on this, you're kind of stacked up with podcast and doing your conferences, your sales top rep. I follow you on Facebook, and you're constantly from one airport terminal to the next, and taking selfies, and then boom, you're off.
It's all about the selfies, man. You got to do it for the gram.
That's
crazy. Right. That's crazy.
So real quick, let's do a brief introduction. If you don't know who these guys are, Chuck Thokey, I'm gonna let you do yours first. Just give us like the 2-3 minute. Who's Chuck?
So obviously, I'm Chuck Thokey. I own and founder of Top Rep High Performance Sales Training, and we take home services and as well as home improvement into a whole different level. So we work with anything from roofing, siding, windows, baths, and then all the way into pressure washing. We do a lot of concrete coating companies. We actually have just about every franchise in concrete coatings inside of Top Rep. We are having a blast with it. We bring a whole new look to sales.
So tell us, I know about Top Rep. Tell us how you got there.
So I've been in the game for about 20 years. Before that, I was an aerospace engineer. And so, but I've been in home improvement now for about 20 to 23 years. And I've built some of the larger teams. So Bath Fitter, I was in it since they were actually called Bath Magic out of Canada. And so, helped to bring that into the States with a lot of other franchise owners. And, then I got a call to jump into roofing. Long story short, went into a larger roofing company, and we turned it into the largest roofing company in the United States with about $220 million a year.
That's it?
Yeah, that's just shy of that. And then
$250 million.
Yeah, then I left that and decided because I had an hour and a half drive home from that when I left, and over 100 roofing companies called me in an hour. Obviously, roofing is a small town, and so I decided to get out and coach, and thus Top Rep is now, and it was named in the top 500 conference this past year as the most recognizable brand and most effective sales training in the country.
Yeah. So I've been to a Top Rep. I went to Wilmington Top Rep, and I'll tell you, I don't even have a sales team, right? I have a sales guy, but there's so much you could pick up from these things. It's not just about hoorah. If you think about roofing and door-to-door salesmen, it's not that. There's so much more to it. So if you get a chance, check out Top Rep. You won't regret it.
I'll tell you, if you like Top Rep, if you've been to Top Rep, come to the summit. We're bringing the heat.
Love it.
Nice.
Los, give us your 3 to 5 minute bio, which I know is a lot longer than that, but that's okay.
Well, I'm not sure if I can top Rep. Chuck has quite an extensive background, and my hat off to you, brother, on all your success and continued success. I come from the home service industry, specifically the pressure washing world, and I've owned a pressure washing company, for about a little bit over 20 years. Started in that field, and 12 years into that, I also started a second company called Enviro Bio Cleaner, which is a soap manufacturing business. where we sell soap, make soap and sell soap to our distributors, and ultimately it lands in the hands of contractors in the home service industry. And during that transition, or during that time in my life, I realized that juggling both companies was just a lot to do, and certainly the scale up of our soap manufacturing business just kind of dwarfed from a number standpoint, gross sales wise, compared to my pressure washing company. So I made the hard decision and said, listen, I need to get rid of this company. I need to dump it and focus solely on the soap manufacturing business. So we're going into our 14th year next year.
That's wild.
14th year. And we started off with my first two distributors. One was located in Houston. The other one was in Chicago. That's how we kind of got our sea legs underneath us. And today we're in 16 countries worldwide. I have about 400 plus distributors scattered across the globe. We have blending plants strategically placed throughout the world that blends our soap. And that's it, man. That's really it as far as, what I do.
Very cool. Well, obviously we got a new guy here, so I don't need to introduce him, but I'll let him do it anyway. Go ahead.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, Brandon.
Don't mind.
Hey.
I'm on mile number 9 for the day.
Let's
so
go.
Just trucking along on my treadmill. Let's see. I've been in home services my whole life. I am a hiring and systems nerd now. I'd say that's probably one of the things that has become a superpower of mine. And I am the CEO and founder of HireBus, as well as founder of Wise Coatings. We have 39 locations across the country that do garage floor coatings. And I still feel like every day I have no idea what the heck I'm doing. I think I'm finding a lot of comfort in just that zone of not knowing. It seems to be like a weird mental connection for me that I'm actually in the right spot, is still not knowing what I'm doing. Is that normal? I don't know. But
Yes.
I hope so. I hope so, because we're all there. I have a feeling.
Yeah. And geeking out on AI. I'd say that's been probably my biggest obsession over the last year and a half, 2 years since founding an AI software company, has been going very, very deep on that. Even today, I'm combing through and creating a brand new project that is taking the last 500 hours of coaching calls and videos and webinars and pulling it through and creating an entire new content series. It's just incredible. I think I probably spend 2 hours a day minimum just working with AI tools and chatting and building automations and agents. And that's been unbelievably game-changing for each one of my businesses, getting those things put in place.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who I'm talking to. If they're in my podcast, we inevitably end up talking about AI. I mean, it's one guy said it's like having a raptor walk into your room, right? If a dinosaur walks into the room, you have to talk about it. You can't ignore the dinosaur. That's kind of what AI is right now. It's just unavoidable. So if you're thinking about living the old life and still using your flip phone, go ahead and let it go, because there's a dinosaur in the room.
Yeah. The dinosaur is getting pushed out. Maybe the dinosaur is the old process now. It's interesting. People would kind of talk about AI being a differentiator. There's been a lot of companies that talk about, oh, we use AI. It's only going to be a very, very short matter of time before that's like saying, oh, we have a website. We use the internet. We use telephones.
Right.
It's already becoming not a differentiator. It is the standard. The differentiator is the context, the data, how you utilize it, your secret sauce in the form of human creativity injected into it, that actually is the differentiator.
For sure.
So it's just that tool, and the creativity layer that is human powered is still the differentiator. I think a lot of people are just kind of missing that part.
So we got a question. I'm going to jump on it real quick. So if you had one tip for a person starting out learning AI, what would you tell them? I would tell you flat out, have a conversation. Don't look for the next prompt, right? Everybody's making this mistake of saying, hey, write this email for me. It's so much, it's so much more capable than that. You need to have a conversation about the tonality and literally it's called ChatGPT for a reason, right? So get used to doing that. Don't look for the next prompt. What you got?
I would say that, ChatGPT especially is a notorious people pleaser, and it'll tell you what it thinks you want to hear, even if it's wrong. And a big tip that I kind of get people that have been talking for a while is say, hey, I want you to think really critically about my thought and what I think I want to have happen here. Critically analyze it, poke holes in it. Tell me all the reasons why it would fail. Take a step back. Is this even the right direction? Am I asking the right questions? Ask me questions before you answer.
Ooh.
Before you respond. Ask me what questions you need to know.
I'm writing that one down.
Me questions.
That one actually is, I do not ask an AI to respond to any question I ask it until it asks me a series of questions to clarify. So I'll say, before you respond, ask me all clarifying questions that you need to better understand the context of my scenario. And it'll ask me, 5 questions, and then I'll answer those. And with that, it gets more information.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the context of it is the absolute most critical part. So I think every business, if you're a business owner and you don't have like a context document that's just kind of created, that has all the relevant information on like a 10-pager about your business and everything you offer and what the, nuances of it, who are the people on your team, how long you've been around, what are the services, what really sets you apart, who's your target customer, you're missing out. I mean, like copying and pasting that document into every question you ask, just at kind of a minimum viable level, will give you 10 times better.
I mean, do you have that in writing? Because that is gold right there, and I want to use it on everyone. I mean, I'm just like Trevor. You named me because I'm just looking for the next prompt. That's I don't have time to really learn AI. I mean,
don't start that. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
But I love. I mean, Brandon, you just threw out there. Ask me questions, poke holes in it. I mean, it's huge. I don't know how many people actually ask it to do that. We all want it to please us. Tell me about myself. And I really hope it's positive, by the way.
So here's something cool. And we need to move on, but I'm going to say it really quickly. I plugged in my staff's DISC assessments. And so now every time I talk about my staff to ChatGPT, which is an all day, every day thing, I have these new nuances that even if you study DISC, like you miss on certain nuances and things throughout the day. So my messages to them are extremely intentional now. Like even just wanting to encourage them on something. Like first I go to ChatGPT and I'm like, hey, I want to make sure I'm communicating according to his or her style. Give me this feedback. But I don't want to go too far into this.
No, I think it's an important topic, and I'm going to ask Brandon just kind of a continuation on this, and then we can move on to other things. Is Brandon, when your experience with your platforms and what you do with AI, you're actually creating these programs from scratch? Obviously, I would think that you have, grabbed some resources out there of who's who in the AI world to get you started. But from a home service industry standpoint, which all of us are a part of, is it safe to say that you actually did the heavy lifting and created and authored a lot of these programs that you're experiencing and that you're doing, like hirebus.com, that's one of your companies. So you plugged and play your own program from an AI platform into this so that contractors, home service providers can sleep better at night. Is that safe?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, even in how we write job ads and go out and post job ads, if you go to ChatGPT and you say, write me a job ad for my window cleaning business for a window cleaner, like you're going to get a job ad. And the quality of that job ad will get you X result when you go post it. But if you put in to that prompt a lot of different variables that tell about the unique selling proposition of the company, what your core values are, what your best employees have said about why they love working for you in your company. You have interviews, context documents you can throw into that. You can compare yourself. You can give all the website copy that you have on there. You can put in best marketing principles. You can put in 2 million data points of every candidate that's come through a pipeline in a program and their corresponding results and where their behavioral profiles were. And then you really start getting a much, much, much better response, because AI can analyze 1 million tokens of data in its prompt. The response that you get back on what that job ad copy looks like looks way, way, way different. And that's the machine learning part, is taking that feedback loop and running it through and recycling it. So like with HireBuzz, because we now have millions of candidates that have gone through the platform, we're able to see insights that make up our system prompts that other people just can't do on their own. So there's value there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that we have talked behind the scenes in regards to the Summit Mastermind in Cabo, where initially when you and I kind of came up with this idea from a mastermind approach versus just a traditional conference, one of the things that naturally fell into place, I think maybe call number 5, was the AI topic. And in that mastermind setting that we're going to be having in October, is part of this get together. I guess
we're going to geek out all over this.
Yeah,
I want to have workshops on this.
Yeah, the AI part is going to be center staged somewhat.
Yeah. I mean, just to kind of give you a taste of what's possible, you asked what's like the first thing that we could do. And it was a good question. Like, if we're just getting started with this, there's tools that you can build in an hour that can transform everything for you inside of your business with just a couple small pieces of knowledge and know-how. And even asking AI to write your code, write your prompts. Like, you can have AI be your prompt engineer. You can give it a prompt and you could say, hey, you're the world's best prompt engineer. Like, how could this prompt be better to get a better output from an AI LLM model? And it'll give you insights there.
Yep.
So it's really powerful if you know kind of how to use it and do it. On my other screen here, I have a tool that I built in about 30 minutes in a Google Apps script that is using OpenAI's Open API to process 1,000 hours worth of content on autopilot while we do this.
Right.
And you can build these in 30 minutes. Like, it's crazy.
So and again, as this bleeds into the Cabo event, one of the things that I've read, and all the people that have applied, that have signed up for the Summit Mastermind, two of the common answers to the questions that are on the application form on the website has been time, the lack thereof, and scale up. The inability to scale up as far as the systems are concerned. And I think the AI topic, and I'm not talking about, we got guys out there right now that are putting pictures of a gorilla, dragging a soccer ball or something like that, and they're marketing AI services to the home service industry. That's not AI. We're talking about actual plug and play programs that will be exploited and talked about during the Summit Mastermind, during the roundtable sessions, where, again, Brandon just mentioned that, these are things that are going to save you time in regards to your systems in your operation tempo. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the best part is just getting around other smart people that are doing big things and just sharing and opening up. That's my favorite part of masterminds, is just the value of being at the table with other people that are doing it. Because if everyone has a little bit of something to offer, everyone's leaving with 10 other viewpoints they didn't have.
So let's take that and segue into the event itself in Cabo, because I can speak from experience. I've been to a lot of industry events. Obviously, you know what industry I'm in because you read my shirt. This is different. This is, I mean, is a little bit of classroom time, and then the rest of it, you're bumping elbows with everybody at the event for 3 to 5 days, right? Everybody has their own agendas, and you're kind of out doing your own thing. But I mean, if there's somebody there that you want to bump elbows with, you can be intentional with your time, and you can really dig deep. And so that, to me, was the best part about this event. Um, let's talk about that.
This event actually takes it, I think, even a step further into the depths of what's going on in our minds as business owners. And I remember the conversation with Brandon like it was yesterday when he and I talked about this, about teeing up the 2025 Summit Mastermind. And I went into the conversation with just, let's do what we did in years past. And that's been bring in a slew of speakers, have them do their belly dance routine for 2 days. We talk about sales, we talk about marketing, we talk about systems. We all feel warm, good, and fuzzy in the moment. And then we go have fun. And that had value. Obviously, we certainly relationships were forged in that interaction. And one of the things that really stuck out to me when Brandon and I were talking about this for 2025 is he said, why don't we look at this differently, Carlos? And I was like, well, what do you mean, Brandon? And he said, why don't we try a mastermind session? And I opened up to him. I said, I don't have a clue what a mastermind entails. Talk to me about it. And the platform that we talked about, which launched the 2025 Summit Mastermind, is forget the systems per se, forget the marketing, forget all the fireworks, forget all the bells and whistles and the rainbows. Let's get these contractors, a minimum number of contractors in this room in a roundtable setting, instead of talking about external stuff that's going on in their business. Let's take a deep dive in what the hell's going on inside of them. What's holding them back? And let's try to draw that information out. Let's try to draw those proclivities that these contractors or these business owners are dealing with from a mastermind session. So again, the platform here in years past has been one-dimensional. Speakers, audience. Speakers talk, audience listen, and then we go have fun. 2025, the audience and the speakers, the mastermind session, we're all going to be commingling, and we're all going to be talking about very specific things that might be considered tripwire for each individual business owner. So I think even what we're doing today in 2025 takes it one step further. It's more personal. Now, beyond that, beyond just the 2 days in the room where you have the likes of Brandon Vaughn, Chuck Thokey, and myself kind of pounding away, locking the door. You're not going anywhere. You can't hide in the corner. We're all going to open up. We've also incorporated the group activities to be part of that agenda. So instead of saying day 3, we're all going to go fishing, you all go do that, we're actually going to force these group activities to be part of the agenda. And there's going to be some things going on at these group activities. I'm going to keep my mouth shut about those details until we get to Cabo, but they are going to be incorporated into the mastermind sessions as well. You heard me talk about LATT, the LAT system, the LAT philosophy: leadership, accountability, teamwork, and trust. Those 4 principles are going to be the undercurrent of the entire 5 days in Cabo San Lucas, not just for the 2 days in the mastermind session. So I think this is what we're doing this year, even takes it a step further, Trevor.
Yeah. So let's talk about, because I know you're both going to be on stage. All 3 of you will be on stage or in front of us at some point. Let's talk about the topics and some of the themes that maybe that, Chuck, obviously you're going to talk about sales, right?
For the most part, yes. We're going to be getting into a lot of different, a lot of sales, a little bit of marketing, but the biggest part is going to be how, the new way of closing deals. Many of the folks that listen to this probably already heard me say this, but we've got some pretty big players and pretty big partners that have allowed us to take a look at their data.
Nice.
One of them being the largest recording app in the United States, which is Rilla Voice. And so we're going to be bringing some of these things that we've been learning about sales. We're debunking a lot of myths that have been, given out by a lot of these sales trainers. And for years it was, well, I think this works, so I'm going to say it from stage. And if we get enough people saying that it works, it must work. And what we're finding is a lot of these things, they don't work. They tried it, but then they were also pretty good at sales. So then they just shared out that, yeah, it worked. Don't know if it worked because of this, but maybe it did. One of the things that we hear, just kind of a big myth that we hear, is mirroring, in the sense that you mirror the homeowner. It just looks like Simon Says and does absolutely nothing. We have found that to be fact. The other thing is the yes train. If you can just keep a sale, or if you can just keep a homeowner saying yes, they'll just keep saying yes. It's about the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But again, it's these things that have been taught over the years, and we've debunked a lot of these. We've also gotten the truths out of it, which is, instead of getting them to say yes, get them to say no, and we'll cover a lot of that. Our coach, somebody that works very tightly with us, which is Chris Voss. We'll be bringing some of that with us as well.
Very cool, man. Yeah. How about this, Brandon? Data does not lie, right? I know you can appreciate that. Chuck's using actual raw data to tell the truth. And I know you've always been a data and a systems and a KPIs person. So
yeah, math is the path.
There you go. That's the one.
I think that is the most comforting thing, because it's really easy for someone who's emotional like myself and goes with a lot of like gut and instinct. Whereas I've been surprised, if you look at my Hire Bus Right seat score, I score low as a CEO in criticality. So I don't have a high desire to be critical of people and things. I actually have a low desire to be critical of people and things. I wear rose-colored glasses on stuff. A survival technique and strategy of mine has been to force myself to look at the numbers and the data to find out whether or not something's been successful. Yeah, otherwise, I'm like, that was awesome. That was great. Why? Because I just feel good and everyone else felt good about it. And, that was a really good sales call. That was a really good XYZ. But when you start really obsessing about the numbers and take the emotion out of it, it really simplifies the decision-making process. And we pay Coach Chuck over here for Wise Coatings, and him and his team, they meet with all of our salespeople nationwide every week, coaching, and we look at KPIs, we look at metrics to gauge success. And that is the ultimate definition of, is what we're doing working or is it not working?
Yeah.
And I think that the more business owners that can implement those dashboards, those KPIs, and this is a really big, powerful component that AI has, is you can take spreadsheets of information, feed it into a model, and it'll deeply analyze and look at blind spots and areas and identify, what perhaps you're saying wrong with your sales transcripts or your phone calls or ways to optimize things. So it's making that decision-making process a little bit easier, which for people like me is a good thing.
So I had a podcast about an hour ago. I just got off of it, and it was a really good question, interesting question. This is a question for you, Brandon. What is the craziest or silliest metric that you've tracked in your years of business?
Oh boy, let's see. Aside from how many miles I've walked on a treadmill at my desk,
you track that on a daily.
I have a map across the United States of that syncs with my. So here's how nerdy this is. The treadmill that I bought on Amazon doesn't track miles. There's no way. It's like a cheap Chinese treadmill I bought off of Amazon. So I bought a smart plug that measures watts and watt hours. And then, like a good nerd, I graphed out how many watts of me walking on this thing equals how many miles.
Incredible. I love everything about it.
And then once I got that formula figured out, now my smart plug keeps track of how many watts it uses, and it tracks whatever speed I walk at. It tracks that. It's a perfect little linear graph, and that's been converted into miles. And I've walked over 2,000 miles in the last 12 months on this treadmill. Part of the reason why I lost 50 pounds and 14% body fat was just literally on this thing.
Yeah.
People are like, why are you always bobbing around on all your video calls? I'm just very hyper.
So my wife actually just bought one last week, and she does. It's wild because just for her little bit of time in the office next to me here, she's getting 3 to 4 miles a day just because she's walking while she's working extra on top of all the other stuff. So pretty cool.
I'll share a couple other little geeky little metric things.
Yeah. Give me a geek.
One of them was Ninja Stars. And this was something that we tracked with All Clean. So we would have a random spot check inspection that we would do on the vehicles for all of our crews at least once a week. And we would have a scorecard on a scale of 1 to 5 Ninja Stars of how well it was clean, it was organized, free of garbage, maintained, like we would just go through, and then we would score those because we have this All Clean Ninja standard. The Ninja was no footprint left behind, masters and skills of their trade, and like everyone like adored and admired ninjas for like their craft. Sure. So we would score those, and then we would track crews of who had the most amount of Ninja Stars in a given month, and then that would go to our All Clean Ninja of the month that we would have. So we'd use Ninja Stars as kind of like our measurement for tracking performance on our crews.
That's nice. Brandon, let me ask you a question about it. Being that you've done mastermind sessions in the past, and for the people that are listening in on this live pod, what's the difference between your traditional conference that a lot of us in the home service industry, we attend over years and years, we go to trade shows, we go to hear speakers and et cetera. So we know that routine, and there's not too many mastermind sessions that are out there in regards to the home service industry. So break it down to us as to what people can expect.
I'd say the biggest thing is less talking heads at the front of the room and more hot seats. Everyone at the table is serving you for a focused period of time. So my favorite part about a mastermind, and I've seen this time and time again, at the tables, people have a dedicated amount of time to sit in a hot seat. And they say, here's my challenges. These are the things that I'm trying to get solved and figured out. And everyone in the room, everyone in the table, they serve that person in a structured way. And it's not by shouting advice at them. Well, I think you need to do this. I think you need to do that. But instead, it's what we call experience shares, where they share experiences that are relevant with the intention of providing a gift to that person. And how that person receives that gift, takes it, implements it, puts it in place. It's up to them. The accountability is on them. But it's this act of gift giving in the form of experiences that is really powerful. You don't feel alone. You actually feel like there's other people that understand you. And I'd say the other powerful part about it is we're going to have lightning rounds where people will go up on stage and share really high value add things. And these, there's a reason why we kind of have this minimum threshold. It's an application process. As much as some people would love to be in the room, there is value by having high level people in the room, especially when there's a limited number, because there's more value for them to give. They're not just I don't want to call them ask holes, but I will, where they don't got anything to offer. They just want to ask everyone and extract everyone else all their information. They're like, well, I really have nothing to give. I have nothing to offer. So masterminds work well when everyone that's in the room at the table does have a superpower, does have something of value to share. And then everyone comes with that place to serve. If you come with that mindset to serve first, hands down, you're going to get served and you're going to be taken care of. So the mindset and the right person in the room, and part of the reason why we have it difficult to get into is because it kind of weeds out those that aren't serious about it. And when you pay attention. When you show up, you have something to invest into it. You're all in. It's not like, oh, this is a casual thing where I just came here to, sip Mai Tais on the beach. It's like, no, we're here to work.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's a key point right there is, as much as I like to give kudos to the previous summits that we've done in the past, I've always felt, gosh, we missed something here. We're not hitting the home run here. And the mastermind model, I think, takes it to that edge. And certainly the feedback that I've been getting from people that have applied, I've received several messages. Well, why are you asking all these questions? And I had to kind of reel these people back in to settle down. It's not about getting into your personal business. It's not about putting you on a hot seat to embarrass you.
Right.
We're creating a 5-day environment with 2 days of very, very intense. I call it the AA of business.
Mm-hmm.
We're through an AA kind of intercession, if you will, to really make you think. And we can't
AI anonymous. That's
exactly. We can't force you to change, but we want to expose certain things that maybe be, that's slowing you down or holding you up. And so I'm glad that, you bridged that for the people that are listening, that this is different than a conference. This is different than the past summits. This is, I think it's going to get emotional. I know there's things that I want to talk about personally. About my business, things that I've been not accountable to or not truthful about in regards to, my scale up. And I even though I'm facilitating and emceeing and establishing the latch system to kick it off, I plan on being at that table somewhere and putting down the microphone and absorbing, everything that everybody has to share. So.
Yeah, Brandon, you said the experiential statements, right, from the people at your table. I think that's amazing. First of all, because I think so many people want to jump in and just have their voice heard, right? Even if they have nothing to say, you run into that situation where people are just talking to be heard. And the experiential statement thing is so good because you might hear something that wasn't even directed at you and you're like, I'm going to talk to this guy when this is over. I want to hear more about that. And you have plenty of time over that 5-day period to pull that off. So that's incredible.
This is where the groups come in. This is where the group activities. It's not a luxury. This is the whole point of having those groups. It bled into the agenda, not only for self-awareness and dialogue between people that are attending these groups, but also too more so is your family, and we want them to be part of this. We want them to be part of this experience. And, I was telling Chuck and Trevor before we went live, one of the activities that we have, the ATV Sunset group activity, that's almost sold out.
You better hurry up.
Yeah, we only have a few slots available for that. So that's the hot activity that people are looking forward to. So it's all kind of interwinding with a purpose. In regards to the actual mastermind and the group activities.
Hey, Carlos, I just saw Joshua Taylor. I hope Joshua's coming because he has a heck of a story to tell.
Josh,
from the wash industry, going to roofing, joining forces with Lance Bachman, now being an owner of the Roof Pups. I mean, what a great story he would have to tell.
Josh, I reached out to Josh, and I'm trying to pull him in. I know he's a busy man and stuff like that, but I remember we had Josh speak at one of the summits that I had in Cabo San Lucas. But even prior to that, he attended one of my trainings, the first ever gas station training class in Cabo San Lucas many, many, many years ago. And I'm so happy to hear about his success, and he certainly would have a lot to offer. Which brings me up to another point. I've spoken to business owners that have inquired about the summit. A couple of them up in the 40 million per year range. A few others 20 million. And one of the common things that I've heard from this is like, well, I've been there. I don't really think that group is appropriate for me. And I had to remind them that, think back when you were at that, right at that 7-figure, 8-figure, 7-figure mark where you're at 6 going into 7, and you kept on tripping. You're at the end of the year, you're 980,000 or 800 some thousand, and your goal was to break that 1 million. And how many times did you fall? And what was the reason behind that? And one of the gentlemen that I spoke to, and they're actually at 40 million, I can certainly validate that. And the phone got quiet. I said, isn't it time you give back a little bit? Maybe there's something that just your presence in that room may be the difference between that 6-figure company busting open into the 7 and marching towards 8 figures. A chance, an opportunity, real dialogue. And we don't care what you make it here. Once you get in that room, we're all equal. We're all gonna, open up and kind of spill the beans, if you will. But Josh Taylor was definitely a super guy, and I hope he does make it. I really do.
It's interesting. It makes me think of this experience that I just had very recently, where I was at an event, and I'm not going to say who. I was at an event where a speaker came in, and I was literally like, my arms were kind of crossed like this. I was sitting in the back. I was kind of making fun of the speaker a little bit. No. They have a larger than life persona. I was talking to the person next to me like, gosh, can you believe this guy? Like, oh my gosh. And it was everything that I was talking about and I was sharing with these other guys at the back of the room was all from a place of ego, pride for myself, preconceived notions. And it was weird because within about 15 minutes, I went like this, tunnel vision, and I couldn't stop watching, listening, staring. And as he was talking, it hit me like a ton of bricks right in the chest. And it was probably one of the most powerful speaking sessions I've ever heard at a business conference, maybe ever. And I genuinely felt stupid. Like I just felt so stupid in that moment that I went into something with the mindset that I don't have anything to learn here. This is all BS. And it's even in those cases where you feel like you have nothing to offer, or like, oh, I'll just go do it because of X, Y, Z. When something switches in your brain for you to just let down the guard, and it's kind of like when the student arrives, so does the master, so does the teacher. It's like when you arrive as a student and kind of let down those preconceived notions. I've seen people with $20 million businesses plus that come in and get something from someone substantially less revenue than them. That's a small tweak, but they've done it really well. And when they implement that same tweak in their business, the impact is tenfold because they just have a larger team.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason. Well, I know that's the reason why we have an application process. Is the big thing that we look for is just that level of humility to kind of come in and understand that, your next unlock could be from the place that you absolutely least expect it. And for me, I went home that week and apologized to my wife and my entire team. I'm telling you, it was one of the most radically transformational talks that I think I've heard. So I don't do that anymore. At least I try not to go into things and feel like, oh, this is all I'm going to get out of something. Because you just never know. And seeing Tommy Mello at events too, he was always sitting in the back of the room, always paying attention, always taking notes. When I'm speaking, he's right there in the audience, writing things down, sending Slack messages to his team, implementing, buying books that I'm bringing up on stage. And that's just the kind of person he is, despite having a $200 million a year business. And you can just kind of identify those patterns of successful people are those ones that just have that mindset that there's always something new to learn.
I love it.
It all starts here. we can sit here and analyze and dissect the brain as much as we can, and it's a supernova. And I'm a firm believer that there's a point in your business, you're making the money, you're scaling, you're branding, whatever you're doing in the home service. It doesn't have to be pressure washing, roofing, landscaping, maid services, hospitality, you name it. But as a business owner, there's a point in your life cycle that you look yourself in the mirror and you say, something's got to change. And you do this self-analysis of who you are and everything that's going on around you. And you realize, I may be the problem. It's not the external stuff. It's my own stubbornness or my own pride that gets in the way. And that's a tough pill to swallow as a business owner, to talk about that in front of total strangers. And again, this is where the last system, the one component, trust. It's hard to trust people that you just met. So the bridge that we're trying to create here for the 5 days that we have you on Cabo San Lucas is to immediately knock that down and to bridge that trust, at least for the moment, and allow everybody to help you and you help us. Chuck has been to a past summit before, and he's established so many relations just with a small group that we've had.
Yes.
We're not looking for hundreds and hundreds of people. It's not the purpose of that. We'll lose sight of the summit if we have that many people. So we're keeping it at 60. It's that one-on-one intimate relationship. And then, I know Chuck has just established so many wonderful things after the fact. The seeds that were planted. Chuck, you can chime in if you want to about that.
I can speak to a group of thousands of people, and I'll not walk away with the relationships I walked away with that time in Cabo. We were just talking about Joshua Taylor. I got a chance to have a small piece of just working with him, working with Brandon. I am sponsoring the NASCAR driver that you brought to Cabo. I've gone to maybe 6 of his races. And
that's awesome.
I didn't even know anything about NASCAR. He's like, just come out. So I just went to the one here in Ohio thinking, it can't be that much. And now I'm hooked. But and my kids just like hanging out in his NASCAR holler. So who gets to do that? I almost walked out in the middle of a race because you have these things called grid tickets or grid passes. I didn't know where I was walking. I almost walked right in front of these race. They were racing. I was about to walk down the track, But anyway, just the relationships that I have been able to build through just that couple of days there in Cabo have been amazing. My kids have not stopped talking about it. So it's not just about you. It's about bringing your family and letting us have some fun with your family as well. Just hanging out in the pool, the foam parties that everybody. That was just amazing. So it was just an amazing trip.
Yeah, I'll speak to the guys that are more on my level that are thinking this is too much. Cabo, I'm not flying across the country or whatever it is. For me, it's across the country, right? You might think that you're not going to actually bump elbows with these guys. They're not going to give you the time of day. But I can tell you there's not a single person that was at that event that I don't feel like I could reach out personally to. And this was 2 years ago. So if your mind is telling you this, you're lying to yourself. It's not true. These guys they're there to help you. They don't need to be there. Nobody on this panel right now needs to be in Cabo to help business owners, but they've made their decision to do that. And if you're on the fence, man,
it's filling up. We're at 50% occupancy right now, and we got close to 2 months before the actual event. As I mentioned, the the activities are the marlin fishing, the scuba diving, the snorkeling, the ATV. That's just the structured activities. And then we have
That's actually why I'm going.
Exactly.
It's not
He's not trying to help anybody.
I try and go scuba diving. It's all I've been thinking about for the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Carlo, let's go.
Speaking of Joshua Taylor caught a nice striper marlin last time. Him and his wife caught an incredible fish, man.
Yeah, it was wild.
It's the real deal. It's a complete package. The resort's real nice. It's right on the beach. I know with our marketing that we've done, I tend to highlight all the fun things, and it's really fun. And I'm glad that we had this opportunity to talk a little bit more about the guts of what that mastermind platform is going to look like for those that enter into the conference room. It's going to be different. It's going to be a different vibe. As Brandon mentioned, the hot seats, the talking about what's going on in your business is going to be certainly something that we all want to hear about. And not only your crash and burns, but also your success as well. So I'm looking forward to it as much as everybody else is, I guess. So.
Yeah. So we know what Chuck's going to talk about. Brandon, I'm not super clear on what your topics are other than AI. What are you bringing? Don't hold back.
He just opened up about that.
It's both. So the parts that I want to, I've led, not a ton, but I've led about like 10 different mastermind events as a facilitator. I've participated in a ton of mastermind events with, cost $100,000 a year to participate in quarterly mastermind events. Learned a lot, and my primary role is to get people talking. And the couple speaking sessions that I will be doing will be around AI, and will be around a lot of the mindset side of the business when it comes to building out your team to be able to execute on the operations side of the business. Chuck is going to be leading in from the sales side of the business. There's a lot of stuff that I have been obsessing about over the last 2 years since I exited Conquer. I just haven't shared with anybody, at all. Like, there's stuff that I've completely rethought and retooled and re-engineered. Conquer was great to kind of get people from 0 to 7 figures, and did that very, very well. The last couple of years have been helping people from 6 figures to 8 figures and beyond, and have just developed a lot more processes and frameworks, and learned a lot even myself on the acquisition side that I kind of want to dive into and share.
Yeah, for sure. I love that.
There. So the parts that we're going to be working on is part of the application process is identifying what people's number one biggest pain points are, why they would want to invest the time to come to Cabo for a few days, and then custom tailoring the content around that, and playing matchmaker to have the other attendees that are going to be there provide value to the rest of the group, and not make it about me, Chuck, Carlos. As much as we're going to be there to share and, have a little bit of insights, our biggest role will just be facilitating the high level individuals that are in the room to talk and share.
Yeah, love that.
Nice.
That sounds awesome. All right, I'm gonna pull a picture up just to give everybody a little teaser. This place is just as incredible as it seems. Talk to us a little bit about it, Carlos. Tell us about the Rio Palace and what you can expect when you walk through the doors.
Well, the Rio Palace is right on the beach. Obviously, as you can tell from from the pick. It's maybe a 5-minute taxi drive, 10-minute taxi drive to downtown Cabo. But for those that are attending the summit, as you probably read on the website and through the marketing that we've done, is all your meals are included in the package. I think there are 7 specialty restaurants on site that you have access to. There's no charge for that. There's sushi restaurant, a steakhouse, Indian food, some really, really terrific buffets. All your drinks, whether it be alcohol or non-alcohol, are on the house. It's part of your package. The resort itself is just immaculate. The staff there have been just year after year have been really, really great to us as far as our group is concerned. So the beach right there in front of you, that's where a lot of us are going to be first thing in the morning doing our runs. So that'll be on the agenda, and we will kind of send out all the complete information to those that have actually registered for the summit. There's a lot of other little things that I'm going to be throwing into the scheme of things for those that actually register. So what you see on the website is the basics. There's going to be some more things coming your way, that little perks, little things that we thought about that will make your stay a little bit more enjoyable. Obviously, you're going to be picked up. You have a private driver from the airport to the resort. You won't have to take a taxi. There will be someone out at the airport to meet you. Make sure you get on your way. There'll be water, refreshments in the Suburban or the Cadillac Escalade that we reserved. And we'll get you to the resort the day that you leave. All you have to do is just meet us in the lobby, and we'll make sure that you have that transportation waiting for you to head home. My job with the summit is, facilitating all this, making sure that the agenda is moving along. Certainly, I'll be chiming in on the topics that both Brandon and Chuck put out, on the 2 days. But also, too, I want those that have registered and those that are considering registering. I'm going to be your point person during your entire time there. Something that you need, I'm the guy to talk to. We'll take care of it for you. Our goal is, once you get into that resort, is that you relax. You're there for a purpose, but we also want you to have fun, and we're going to take care of everything for you.
I love it, man. So I don't want to talk price point, but I will say this. You're not taking your family on a cheaper vacation that you can actually write off. This is a truly incredible opportunity for you if you just need that vacation and you want to take your business to the next level. This is real. Bring your family. You won't be disappointed. Honestly, the best event I've ever been to.
I think transparency about that is definitely worth talking about. And I'm going to take it a step further and talk about Brandon and Chuck. And, for those that are listening, these 2 gentlemen have not asked for a single dime at all for the time that they have put into this event behind the scenes. There has been many, many Zoom calls going on, and certainly traveling there and doing what they're doing the 2 days, actually the 5 days, because they're going to be part of these groups. I just want people to understand that, this isn't, we're not doing this for, the big paycheck. These 2 gentlemen know the budget. They know what I'm working with as far as finances are concerned. And we just want to make sure that when you come there, that you have a great time. But I think it's worth mentioning that in regards to Chuck and Brandon. I know when they speak, they get paid. But they were the first to raise their hand saying, I want to be there, and don't worry about it. We'll figure something out.
Well, this makes things a little awkward for me because I know you've already sent the check, but that's okay.
Wait, hold on.
Sorry, guys. Guys, we're at 59 minutes and 26 seconds. So this is it's been incredible. I am so looking forward to this event. Brandon, you got any last words for us?
I just hope to see you there. I really do. If it's been a while since you've been to been to a mastermind event, a small one with a handful of people, really give this one some thought. You know, there's certainly a lot of other events that are kind of circling this one where there's hundreds, if not thousands, of attendees that are there. It's just a different experience, the intimacy, the shoulder to shoulder, breaking bread with others, but also going scuba diving together, going deep sea fishing together, being on the boat, talking there for hours. That's why we have a lot of those connections that, the same as Chuck, you know, they've lasted for years. And it's kind of a different bond that you make with your fellow business owners and colleagues when you do something like this. So give it some thought if it's been a while since you've been to one, and hopefully we see you there.
What you got, Chuck? You're
Yeah,
going to close us out.
I just want to, I mean, I still remember Brandon talking about all the strategies when it comes to commercial wash and so many other things. But he focused in on VAs, and I have 4 VAs because of this trip. And I'm telling you, they run my company. They run Top Rep. So that was a big thing for me. Listening to Jason Evers, and his stories were absolutely hilarious about the what he would put on the side of a truck, and the I think it was the animal shelter, or somebody was mad because of what he put on the side of a truck. And then you listen to Joshua Taylor get up and give his story. I mean, these are things that happened 2 years ago, and I still remember vividly. It's and then of course everything else. I can't stress enough to get there and really, take time to get in the hot seat. I mean, I belong to a large mastermind, and one of the reasons why I go is to get in the hot seat, and I just want people to grill me, because there's something that I could be doing. There's something that I should be doing to better my company. And then you're sitting in front of some of the best in the industry. You have the opportunity to be criticized, and that's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love it.
Absolutely fantastic, fellas. I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate the event and all the effort that goes into making this happen. I appreciate the price point. Can't wait to see you there.
Right on. All right. See you guys.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
Now, see you in Cabo.
Bye.